Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're Red Hot Dolphins are coming off of our second win of the season, so that makes us red hot because why the hell not? And we're facing off with very little time off on Thursday night against the Baltimore Ravens, who also only have 2 wins on the season. Just like all the schedule makers drew it up, right? The 2-5 Baltimore Ravens versus the 2-6 Miami Dolphins. The good news is both teams are coming off of big wins for themselves to try to gain momentum going into the rest of the season. The Ravens get Lamar Jackson back. Visor-Tua is here to stay. We have a lot to talk about. Coming at you in just a moment, our top 10 storylines to look out for in the Dolphins-Ravens Thursday night matchup. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the 305 Gridiron. I, of course, am your host, Anthony Pinzone, back after a one-show hiatus. So happy to be back. And, of course, my sidekick, keeping this shit on lock on Monday all by himself, Josh, a.k.a. Aqua Ace. Josh, I'm so sorry to leave you hanging, buddy, but you did an amazing job.
Thank you. That was my very first time ever hosting a podcast solo. So that was a bit nerve-wracking. I think I shit my pants a couple times, but hey, we got through it. Really huge shout out and much appreciated to the chat for carrying me through that show. That was fun. It was really fun to do. And but that being said, I am very glad you're back.
Well, thank you very much. I was chatting my thumbs off. I was bleeding. I was typing so much. I was just trying to get things rolling. And of course, our boys Abel and Jorge were holding down the chat again, and they are here yet again tonight, dropping in Sports Night with Jorge. That's what the SNJ stands for. So make sure to check out his channel.
Phenomenal content, absolutely phenomenal.
Whenever you get a chance, Abel coming in with a win streak. Let's get it, baby. It is time to get a win streak. It would be the first time this season to have such a streak.
Yes, it would.
So that would be nice, And then of course, Finn Spin popping in.
The Mad Greek.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm feeling better too. Still not 100%, but I'm about 85, 90, so that's good enough. Certainly good enough to jump on.
At our age, that's phenomenal.
At our age, that is 100%. Really, I mean, that's all you ever get. It's always some ailment going on.
Yeah, I sprained my ankle this afternoon leaf blowing. So
that's dangerous sport right there. You gotta be careful. You really do. All right, boys, let's talk some Miami Dolphins football, but we're not going to get into the top 10 list just yet because we got to shout out one of our own first. Jordan Brooks, the middle linebacker, leads the league in tackles, now has himself an AFC Defensive Player of the Month award to put up on his shelf. Congratulations out there to Jordan Brooks. He's had his ups and downs. We've had our love affairs with him and our borderline hatred for him at times. But he is the Defensive Player of the Month. What a game against Atlanta. He single-handedly carried the defense in that game. Just really taking down Kirk. Kirk O'Chains, who? So big shout out to him. One other thing before we get into our top 10 storylines, because I forgot to ask you guys this last week. We need your X Factor, your bold prediction, and your final score. So start thinking about them now. Start putting some brain power towards these three things, right? Your X factor is who is going to make the biggest impact on the game. Your bold prediction is something astronomical that should be extremely difficult to happen, but still possible to happen. And then, of course, your final score is pretty self-explanatory. What is the final outcome between the Miami Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens in Miami, by the way, on Thursday Night Football? The whole nation will be watching. How will our boys respond? We don't know yet.
We'll see. We'll see who shows up.
All right. Top 10 storylines. Let's just get right into it, buddy. Let's get right into it. Number 10. Can the Miami Dolphins continue their red zone success without the tight end centerpiece? We were a little frustrated this past weekend with going for field goals in the red zone when we thought we should have had touchdowns. Is that because we are missing the Darren Waller that we signed to be that guy in the red zone? Nick Westbrook-Akine has not been him. Jalen Waddle is our guy who gets us there, not necessarily our guy who gets us in. So really, we've been looking at the running backs to kind of help us in this situation. How do you see this playing out in terms of our red zone success against the Ravens?
Well, I mean, I think it all depends on how Mike McDaniel calls the game, right? Which we could say every week. I mean, I think that's kind of intuitive in and of itself. But I do think the way we deploy our running backs and the manner in which we use our running backs kind of fits the lack of tight ends, right? Because I feel like in the lower red zones, your tight ends are kind of your money shots, assuming you have somebody that can catch a ball, right? And you don't have like a blocking tight end there. Who was the guy that was here last for a couple of years? Smythe.
Durham Smythe.
Yeah. And our running backs are really good. Excuse me, really good in the receiving game, right? In the passing game, and I think that really helps us. Do I see it being an issue? I mean, I think it'll be as much of an issue as it was last week, in air quotes. I mean, we blew out Atlanta, so it wasn't that big of an issue. But this offense in my opinion, at least, this offense really does not do a lot in the lower red zone, right? They're either getting in there with a long chunk play, Achane breaking off a 50-yard run, Waddle getting a 20-yard slant and taking it to the house, or just outside the red zone. So 15 to 10 yards outside of the end zone, where our running backs can do those kind of Texas routes and passes behind the line of scrimmage, which we don't like. But I will say this: I think this offense is much easier with someone like Waller, or insert other good receiving tight end, because they're tall, they're fast, they're strong. They can hold blockers off, hold cornerbacks, hold safeties off, or pull a linebacker, which in Waller's case, he's faster than most of them. And it just makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, I certainly think, everything you said, spot on. I think, we weren't asking Waller to do anything crazy, though. I feel like we could have somebody running the same routes and have similar success. He caught quite a few of his touchdowns when he was wide open. You don't need to be 6'6" to catch a wide open touchdown. Last time I checked,
you'd be surprised, because we do have Julian Hill, who, for all of the crap
he didn't play last week, though.
Right, for all the crap he got from us last year, he's played pretty well this year. So I mean, we'll see.
I remember somebody had him as their bold prediction last week, and then he ended up not playing, so that stunk.
But I do like, of course, I like the guy, but now I can't think of his name. The guy we signed off. No, the one we signed off for the practice squad that we got from Denver.
Oh yeah, Dolce.
Him, yes, yeah. Greg Dolce. Yeah, I was a huge fan of him. I wanted us to sign him in the offseason. So maybe he can do something.
Yeah, did he play last week? I don't even know.
He did. Okay.
Yeah.
And sparingly, because we employed more of the sixth offensive lineman in Daniel Brunskill, as opposed to another tight end. Which
makes total sense. I mean, it worked. Yeah. So there's not much we can say about it, right?
I absolutely love six offensive linemen with these running backs.
Yeah. I think seeing Malik get involved last week was awesome.
Yeah,
that was an amazing catch. Even more amazing to somehow get that ball over the goal line.
How did that even, we've been shitting on Tua, rightfully so, all year.
Yeah.
What a pass that was, and what an absolutely insane catch. I thought he was out of bounds. I didn't think he got it. And watching the replay was bananas.
I mean, he was being bear hugged after he caught it. I don't know how he got the ball over the goal line. It was pretty insane.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like Justice Hill doesn't play for us. He's on the other team. I think he is playing. Julian Hill is out this week too, according to Abel. So
thanks, Abel.
Thank you for that. All right. Yeah,
keeping us honest, Abel. Keeping us honest since 2025.
I honestly think replacing Waller isn't that huge of a deal, mainly because we didn't have a tight end before he even played. He only played like 2 games for us or something like that, 2.5.
I mean, that's fair.
So, I do think that I would love to see more Taj. I think Taj could really create separation in the red zone. I'm been very disappointed not seeing him play.
I'm pretty sure he's injured, isn't he?
I don't think he is. I think he's just a healthy scratch.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I think he's a healthy scratch. We're playing Cedric Wilson, which is annoying. But yeah. All right, let's take a look at number 9 then. Number 10 was, can Miami continue its red zone success without the tight end centerpiece? Like how, right? Number 9 is our edge discipline versus Lamar Jackson. This is a huge one. Lamar is back. He hasn't played since week 4 against the Kansas City Chiefs, where he got injured, and he's been out ever since. We're now in week 9, I believe this is. So he missed for the better part of 4 games, something like that.
Yep.
So we need to see the defense that we saw last week that was, for all intents and purposes, that defense was prepared for Michael Penix Jr., right? We did not know Kirk Cousins was playing until the 11th hour. This defense needs to be prepared for Michael Penix Jr., like the Super Shredder version in Ninja Turtles, where he drinks all the ooze and he turns into this giant monstrosity. That's what Lamar Jackson is.
That's a great reference.
Compared to Michael Penix Jr. So, I mean, a huge part of this is going to be our defensive ends containing him and not running right past him, which is something they're very good at.
Yeah, I think this is all about lane integrity. Right? I mean, that's what this boils down to. I think we say it on the show quite a lot. You and I say it to each other quite a lot. These players need to do their 1/11th. Don't try to be superheroes. Don't try to get caught up in the moment and, oh my God, I can see Lamar. I'm going to go make the big play. Just do what you're supposed to. Keep the players in front of you and don't overrun your your spots on the field, because that's a dangerous proposition when you're going up against someone like Lamar.
Yeah, our guys we have speed rushers right on the edge, so they're all too easy just to kind of bump once and then watch them run. Like they're gonna be out there doing some calisthenics or something, because they're certainly not going to be touching Lamar if that's their game plan. So I definitely think they need to be working on technique over speed in this one. By all means, use your speed when Lamar rolls out.
Yeah, of course.
I thought what Weaver did, I know I didn't get a chance to talk about last week's game, but I thought what Weaver did with Phillips last week was fantastic. It wasn't dropping Phillips back to cover anybody. It was dropping Phillips back to contain the quarterback, which obviously was a game plan for Michael Penix, but actually worked really well in the Kirk Cousins situation and the few times that he managed to get out of the pocket and roll out. Phillips or enter the name of another edge rusher here, a lot of the times was just there waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of what we need more of.
Yeah, and my only concern, and I don't remember if we'll talk about it later. I think we will. Derrick Henry has been having an off couple games, but I feel like that goes hand in hand with Lamar being out. And so now that Lamar's coming back, we have 2 serious running threats that we have to account for as opposed to one. This is all about discipline. And if we can play like we did last week, we have a chance at winning this game, honestly. But if we play like we have the last 6 or the 6 games prior, 7 games prior to that, we're going to be in for it's going to be a long, I might turn it off at halftime.
Good point. And not a point I hear a lot of people talking about is the Derrick Henry situation. He's everybody's just kind of assumed that he's fallen off because he's 31 or whatever he is now. And that's it. He must be done, right?
Yeah, very easy to stack the box when you're going up against Tyler Huntley.
He has a fumbling problem, and we've been good at forcing fumbles, so I think that's where we need to target. Otherwise, it's going to be a very difficult day to stop him. Although I thought the same against Bijan, and we managed to do that too. So
under 50 yards total.
This defense. Bijan. We're going to talk about the defense later. Yes. It's very, very Jekyll and Hyde.
Man, I really wish you were on that show last. It sucks that you were sick. That was such a fun show. So lots of cool topics.
Speaking of cool topics, let's move to number 8. The Tua quick game versus Baltimore's unique pressure packages.
Simulated pressures. Yes, they do that all the time, and it's annoying.
So they are pretty well known for putting out a lot of looks on defense, and a lot of those looks have pressure, but you don't ever know where the pressure is coming from. It's like an aggressively conservative defense, which is a weird way to say it. Because I don't think they often rush more than 4 people, but you just don't know which 4 people are going to be rushing.
I mean, 2 cornerbacks and a defensive tackle,
and I think when we see that with our defense, right? Because Weaver tries to do it. That's why we see guys dropping back in weird positions, and we just don't have the guys to do it. And Weaver comes from Baltimore, so we're going to be facing a very similar defense, which hopefully is a plus for our quarterback.
Some insight.
But I don't know. How do you see it? Like, is this a game where Tua's quick game returns?
Well, I'm hoping, and I'm going to choose my words carefully here. I'm quietly optimistic that McDaniel learned from last week, because I do think if we can do the same concepts and go into the game with the same mindset that we did last week, I think Tua is going to have a pretty big game. I think Tua's superpower throughout his career is his time to release, right? Which is usually top of the league or one of the tops in every year that he's been the starting quarterback. Mm-hmm. And, when teams clog the middle, take away his first read, he can't get it out quickly. But what we talked about last week and what you and I have talked about quite frequently during the season is Miami needs to commit to the run setting up the pass instead of the pass setting up the run. And I think you saw last week against Atlanta with the 6 offensive linemen and the 21 personnel and sometimes the 22 personnel with not Julian Hill, but a couple tight ends and a couple running backs, and us turning over personnel frequently to keep those fresh legs. That's a great game plan for this Baltimore team that's had its struggles on defense and on offense.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to believe that all they needed to do was tell Tua to stop playing scared. I mean, it just seems like such a simple thing, right? Like that was kind of the report that came out of NFL Network, and I'm sure the conversation was a little deeper than that, or maybe it wasn't. Who knows? Mike McDaniel's not exactly doesn't come across as a great conversationalist. But I mean, these were not easy throws that Tua was making last week. Like it wasn't. It didn't give me really 2023 vibes because I felt like in 2023 a lot of the throws were schemed open.
Yeah,
and on Sunday, these throws were between 3, 4, 5 defenders a lot of the time, and he just wasn't playing scared. He was just dropping dimes.
And the lofty passes that he was doing, I haven't seen that ever from Tua. Not even in 2023. There were 5 or 6 that I can remember off the top of my head where it wasn't a lot of power. Not that he has a lot of power, but he didn't put his whole body into it. He just kind of sat there and went almost like he was shooting a basketball. It
was like, if you're ever playing a sport and you just, for one day, you just have a feel for it.
Yep.
Like for no reason whatsoever, you just have a feel for whether it's outside shooting baskets in your backyard or throwing the football around the yard, whatever it is. Like that's what it felt like. It felt like Tua just had a feel for how hard he needed to throw the ball in certain situations.
Yeah, it was locked in. Yeah.
We've seen so many times where he lofts it way too much, right? And that puts it in danger. Or he tries to wing it at a running back that's standing 3 feet away from him. What?
He puts his whole body
into
it. It's like, dude, you could hand it off to him.
Yeah, you could hand it to him. It's fine. But last week it was perfect. I think we need to see more of that. And that's the game we need to see. That's Tua's game.
Yeah.
And I want to carry that over into the next point because our next storyline also involves the quarterbacks.
Yes.
Because it's Lamar's legs versus Tua's rhythm for number 7 as our top 10 storylines. I think that's a big storyline in this one. Is that one of these two things is going to be, I don't want to say game deciding, but it's going to be a major factor in this game.
I think it is. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's no other thing other than these two specific facts that are going to decide the game, in my opinion.
This will, at the very least, in all likelihood, decides the game. But let's play devil's advocate and says it doesn't. At the very least, it decides the time of possession game.
Huge.
Because Lamar's legs can pick up first downs and extend drives like nobody else. Tua's rhythm can do the same thing. So it's going to be a battle of not so much offense versus defense as the legs versus the rhythm.
Yeah. Do you think that there's specifically about Lamar's legs, meaning his scramble ability? No, that's not a word.
His ability to keep plays alive in general, I feel like. Yeah.
Do you think that he's got to shake off some rust? I mean, he's Lamar. Like, I don't. There's a few quarterbacks in this league, and there have been a handful of quarterbacks in my life of being a football fan that I don't really apply he's got to shake off a little rust, right? That doesn't apply to some of these quarterbacks. And do you think Lamar is one of them, or do you think Lamar is going to have at least maybe the first quarter of the game kind of get back into the rhythm of things?
I think at most it'll be a quarter. I think what's beneficial to us is that for whatever reason under the Mike McDaniel era, we seem to play fairly well against Lamar Jackson. I don't know
us why. Historically, no, but yes.
I mean, under this regime, right? The Tua, the game we talk about all the time, where it was the Tua versus Lamar back and forth.
The 4 touchdown fourth quarter,
right?
Tua game.
We play, and then they destroyed us last year. So let's not talk about that. But we have played well against this team, and we have
Yeah.
played well against Lamar. In fact, that one season where we completely dominated Lamar, there was a lot of questions around, was Lamar not good enough as a passer after that
Crazy.
game?
It's criminal.
It's criminal, right?
Yeah.
But we just did. I mean, we did an incredible job in that game, and I'm sorry I don't remember the year or even the week of it was, but I just remember vividly the storylines afterwards because we dominated him. He could not throw the ball, and then we kept spies on him the whole game, so he could not run the ball. And I think that if we
was the Jerome Baker game where he had he sacked Lamar and fumbled him or something like that.
It could have been. I really don't. All I remember is the storylines. I'll be honest. I think if we can go back to that tape, and I know we don't have the same personnel, so we can't do exactly the same, but just find the little things that worked, right? And Lamar's different. Lamar's grown. Lamar's what, a 2-time MVP?
Yeah.
This is an amazing quarterback. To Jorge's point, he's 3-1 coming back from injury.
Doesn't bode well.
Doesn't bode well for us, but I think there's a chance.
But hey, again, 3-2. I mean, you heard it here first, folks.
Back to the point. We talked about is the second point on this, and that's how important it is. And we'll talk about it more actually in a later storyline.
So. Yep.
Lamar's legs are something we need to keep in check, and Tua needs to be in a rhythm. That is the deciding factor, I think.
Now, which do you think is more likely to happen? Lamar's legs come back to him quickly, and his legs decide the game, or Tua's rhythm carries over from the blowout in Atlanta against the number one passing defense. And carries over into momentum into this game. I'm not saying either one is going to win the game, but which do you think is more plausible?
I think Lamar running more probably because it is his first game back in 4 weeks or whatever. He's going to be seeing. I mean, I don't know if he's going to see the field as well as he was when he's like in it, right?
Yeah.
He had all his training camp. He's coming off of preseason. He's 4 games into the season. He's seeing defenses, right? I don't. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but I just have a feeling that he's going to try to take advantage of our linebackers. I think that's a weakness on our team when it comes to rushing quarterbacks.
Well, big play Willie Gay, baby.
if we can get Willie Gay in there more, that'd be great.
Yeah. I can't remember. Are we playing at home or are we away?
We are home, yeah.
Oh, yep. Okay. So that'll be good.
Yeah. Let's check out what the chat's saying over here too, because I know I missed a few things here.
Tons.
Ravens defense is not as good against the pass as the ranked 28th. I'm not putting any stock in that right now, Jorge, because they were missing several pieces, and we'll talk about this in a bit. It's one of our storylines. They have pretty much just gotten back everybody at once, which is insane.
Against Miami.
Well, that's okay. That's
inevitable.
Okay. No happy feet was a fantastic thing to see. No throwing off the back foot. Wow, amazing what happens if you don't throw off your back foot when you have no arm.
And when you settle, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of what Abel just said, you can see his fundamentals kick in.
Yeah.
Because when he's scrambling for his life or trying to do stupid, you're not Patrick Mahomes. When he's trying to do stuff, his mechanics go out the window.
Yeah. It comes to you when you want to play. I mean, for sure, last week it looked like the team wanted to be there, which is way more than we could have said for the games prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move to number 6. This is a huge one. And this is something we did not see coming last week, although we've been asking for it for the entire season. Number 6 in our top 10 storylines to watch for the Dolphins-Ravens Thursday night football game. Will McDaniel maintain the heavy sets?
Yeah.
Was Atlanta a blueprint of our offense moving forward, or was it a game plan for one specific game?
Well, the cynic in me, the jaded Dolphins, 30-plus year Dolphins fan in me, probably close to 40 year now, says, no, he'll go back to his roots and we're going to get blown out. But the optimist in me says, okay, maybe it seems like there's a lot of things that are different, that were different last game. Bevel being on the sidelines instead of in the box.
Frank Smith, right?
Do what?
Wasn't it Frank Smith on the sideline?
I was just testing, making sure you were listening. Yep.
Got you.
Frank Smith. Yep. That's what I meant to say. It's been a long day. Frank Smith on the sidelines, Mike McDaniel seemingly throwing his playbook out the window and doing an entire redesign. Because, I mean, if you listen to the media, you listen to Kyle Krabs and Wingfield and everyone, that was what they were all alluding to, is that he finally got off his high horse and said, okay, something needs to change. So the quiet optimist in me is, yes, okay, cool. he noticed, he found something that worked with the layout of this team, given the injuries we have and given the players that we do have at key positions. And I think 6 offensive linemen, 21 personnel is massive, right? You saw it in Atlanta. We did whatever the fuck we wanted, including in the passing game. So just because you're running heavy sets doesn't mean you necessarily always have to run. It just gave to some of, to Abel's point earlier, he was settled because I feel like he knew there was a 6th offensive lineman. So he had a little more confidence and faith in that line protecting for him just long enough for him to do those layered throws or to see the 2nd and 3rd read open up down the field up across the middle when the 1st read was taken away from him. And I think you also saw it in the run game. So I think all of this is me saying, I don't really know because Mike McDaniel has been so scattered over the last couple of years, or probably year and a half. But I'd like to believe he's at least as smart as we are because we saw, that it was working. And so stick with it until you have to pivot. And then when you have to pivot, don't make it more complicated, actually pivot.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better, honestly. I mean, I want to see the continuation of simplifying the game.
Yeah.
Which is what we finally saw. And I know that we have to give credit where credit's due, but it took 3.5 years, bro. Like, it took 3.5 years. It took going 1-6 2 years in a row to finally get it together. Yeah. One thing I will say, though, is that the Ravens defense in general has been beatable. Now, we'll talk in a minute for about a few reasons why that may not be true in this game. But they have led up the 10th most rushing yards per game, and they led up the 5th most passing yards per game. So I think the Atlanta game was the perfect blueprint for what we need to do moving forward. It was the perfect blueprint for a balanced offense. I think at the end of that game, we ended up with a near even number of passes versus rushes.
Nope. We had it was like 32-25 or something like that.
Oh, sorry, 37 rushes to 27 passes.
Yeah, right. That's exactly the numbers we want.
Yeah. At some point in the game when I was watching, I remember them seeing it was the same number. Yeah. I guess we ended up rushing way more at the end, which makes sense because we were winning 34-10.
Yeah.
I want to keep seeing the same thing. And I know that Baltimore is going to react to that, and their defense is going to be ready for it. But who cares, right? That's where I think we get kind of out-coached a lot, is that we overcorrect.
Yep.
Like, there is so much to be said for making corrections and making tweaks. And if they're pounding you at one point that you want it to do and you can't get it done, okay, let's pivot a little bit.
Just a little, though.
But don't go from 30 degrees to 150, okay? Too much pivot.
Yeah. It's too much Mike McDaniel. Let's add another screen to this thing, right? What could possibly go wrong?
When we came out in the second half screen, we're not going to get, it's not a reaction video.
No.
My God, did I want to talk about it. The freaking screen passes at the start of the second half.
Yep. And I will say this. I think I saw tempo versus Atlanta, which I really hope we see more of.
I definitely want to see that because we've been talking about that forever. Yep. Tempo and QB rollouts are what make this offense run. I don't know why. It's maybe because the offensive line is so bad, but like, it'll help protect your offensive line and stop trying to just drop back, 3-step drop, 5-step drop, and throw like a normal offense with a good offensive line. We don't have a good offensive line.
And if you and you don't have to do it all the time.
Yeah.
But sprinkle it in because you need to keep the defense guessing. And that's why I think tempo is so big, because Baltimore's notorious, like we are, for having, their starters play 10 plays in a row at 1,000%, speed, and then they sub them all out and bring in round 2, do it again, sub them out after 3 or 4 plays, bring in the next round to keep everyone fresh. And I think tempo prevents that from happening.
I tell you what, just popped in my mind here, talking running backs and how we can take advantage of this defense since we run a very similar defense. If they're going to be dropping back pass rushers and linebackers to cover people, you better be splitting Achane out as often as you can.
Something that is since the offseason.
That is a mismatch made in heaven right there.
Yep.
Oh, they're going to drop their defensive end back to cover? Freaking perfect.
Done.
Try to keep up with Achane.
Even Ollie Gordon, dude.
Right.
I mean, he's faster than people think he is.
But I keep him in the backfield for the threat of the run.
Yeah, of course. Right.
No,
I'm just saying, like, you can play action, have him do. Yeah. I always say Texas route because it's the easiest.
Oh, his 20-yard touchdown catch last week was
gorgeous. And Aaron Brewer out on the block on that when he pancaked the cornerback,
destroyed him. Yeah, I mean, Achan's going to be a huge player in this one.
Yeah,
they all need to be.
Who knew?
Yeah, they all. Him and Ollie need to be. Wright is just getting back into it. He did some good things last week, but
yeah,
it ran through Ollie and Devon last week,
as it should.
Yeah. All right, let's recap the bottom 10 here, and then I give my voice a break while you break it down. Number 10, can Miami continue its red zone success without the tight end centerpiece? We saw them struggle a little bit against Atlanta. Even despite us scoring 34 points, we struggled a little in the red zone. Edge discipline versus Lamar Jackson. We need to keep him contained. We need to try to keep him in that pocket as often as we can. Number 8, Tua's quick game versus Baltimore's simulated pressures. They do a lot of stuff on defense. They do a lot of moving, a lot of rotating, a lot of fake blitzes. How does that match against Tua's quick game, right? Because he wants to throw as soon as he hikes the ball, and there might be somebody there that he didn't expect to be there. That's going to be a challenge. Number 7, Lamar's legs versus Tua's rhythm. This is kind of a big match in this game. It's going to be, is Lamar's legs going to keep drives going? Is going to keep Baltimore's offense on the field? Or is Tua's rhythm going to do something similar for the Miami Dolphins, picking up those 3rd and 3s, 3rd and 4s on a regular basis to keep the offense on the field and keep the defense rested? Number 6, McDaniel's heavy sets. Was that a blueprint in Atlanta? We were rushing out 6 offensive linemen regularly. Finally, somebody in the organization realized we needed help on the offensive line, and it's no surprise our run game had the best game of its season. Will that be the blueprint moving forward, or will we go back to our old ways and make Dolphins fans across the universe, including Hootie and the Blowfish, cry?
Oh, Mr. Hootie. Yes, and before I get to number 5, the number 5 storyline, I did want to commend you for your knowledge. Taj Washington was a healthy scratch. However, it looks like D. Eskridge with the shoulder injury might be out, so we could see him as our primary returner.
I always forget about him. I would like to see freaking D. Eskridge involved in the offense more too.
Yeah, especially over some of the players. Cedric. Yeah, I'd actually take Cedric over Nick Westbrook-Akine because I got to be honest with you, I don't know how the fuck he got 9 touchdowns last year.
He just doesn't fit this offense, man.
He doesn't.
It's
all right. Number 5, the number 5 storyline to kind of pay attention to, if you will, in the Dolphins-Baltimore game is which Miami Dolphins defense shows up. Is it? I mean, we've been very Jekyll and Hyde over the last couple weeks, specifically this season as well. Is it the kind of gang tackling, kind of, very confident defense, very disciplined defense that we saw versus Atlanta? Or is it the defense that we saw the previous couple weeks before Atlanta, that gifted explosive plays, that, breakdowns and coverage and so on and so forth?
I mean, I really hope it's the one we saw against Atlanta, because this was the first time not the first time the defense looked competent, but it's the most competent the defense has looked in a year and a half, maybe since Anthony Weaver's taken over. It seemed like it finally started to click for some guys. I don't know what the message was throughout the week. I don't know how you lose 31-6 to the Browns, and then come out 34-10 against the Falcons. Like, that's why the NFL is so fantastic, because none of it ever makes sense. I loved seeing the swarming, gang tackling, disciplined defense. Like, there was nothing more enjoyable to watch. It didn't matter if they picked up a first down. It didn't matter if they got like a 12-yard play or whatever, because it wasn't one guy getting the tackle after 7 guys missed. It was like, nope, that was just a good play by the offense, and then we had 3 guys there to stop it, right? Like, that's the difference between like a good defense and a bad defense. The good defense still gives up chunk plays, but there's guys there in the correct position to stop it and not let up more. And we hadn't seen that up until this point. And last week was a perfect example of how we should be playing, right? Like how guys who are in position they should be in, if they're doing their 111th, as we like to say, and they're where they should be, then when the offense does make the play, there should be 2, 3, 4 guys there to make the stop.
Yeah.
So if one guy misses or it only manages to slow the runner down, the next guy is there to hit him. That is going to be of vital importance against Derrick Henry. Last time I checked, he's incredibly difficult to take down.
To say the least. And for all the crap that Lamar gets from a physical standpoint, meaning how he looks, he's also incredibly difficult to tackle.
Oh, he's impossible.
Yeah. So, for me, I think, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, early downs is key. right? Because what you don't want to do is to get on a regular basis get into third and shorts, because that's where the Lamar Jackson legs and the Derrick Henry freight train combo is practically impossible to stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's the key. We need to have a game similar to what we had against Bijan, right?
Yep. Take one of them away as best you can.
Right. You got to choose Derrick, choose Lamar, deal with the other one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's where what you were talking about earlier, where the gang tackling and the eye discipline and your 111th, that's where it comes in. Because if you can hone in on, okay, we're gonna try to slow, we're gonna focus all of our energy on slowing down Derrick Henry. Mm-hmm. Let's try to limit him to under 75 yards in the game rushing. Okay, we're gonna put all of our mental energy into that. Let fundamentals take over, and everything else needs to rally around whenever Lamar inevitably breaks a tackle. We need to keep it under 10 instead of letting him get 13 or 15 or 20.
Yeah, these pass rushers better have some real sticky gloves on so that they can grab onto Lamar.
Yeah, put some stickum on it. All right. Number 4 on the top 10 storylines for this Miami Dolphins Baltimore Ravens game, Thursday night football primetime game, is keeping the running game rolling. Apostrophe after the end because we're cool. We don't use G's here. Heavy and happy, right? I think the allocation of run versus pass in the Atlanta game is the blueprint to how this Miami Dolphins team, as it currently is built, how they succeed. Do you think that leaning more into even more so than we did in the Atlanta game, leaning into the 6 offensive linemen and the 21 personnel and the 36 to 40 carries for our running backs collectively versus more 50-50 split or even shading more into the passing is the way to go?
I think you at least need to start the game with the same mindset that you had last week, right? Mm-hmm. With the run heavy offense. And we didn't start last week on a positive note either. We went 3 and out in our first offensive drive last week. Yes. And then we held the Falcons to a 3 and out in their first offensive drive. So it's kind of like a reset. I can't guarantee you'll get that same benefit here against the Baltimore Ravens, right? So there's going to be a lot of pressure on the offense to score every time they go out there. And the best way to kind of alleviate some of that pressure is to get a running game going, get the clock moving. Like you mentioned before, get some quick what is that called?
Quick passes.
Not working. Not quick passes, but like they quickly run the offense out there.
Oh, tempo.
Yeah, get some tempo going. And I think ultimately, if it's not working, then you adjust. I don't think we need to be like, hey, we're going into this game and we're going to run this ball 40 times. No. Because if you have 40 rushes for 1 yard to carry, you just managed 40 yards, bro. Congratulations. I think there needs to be a commitment to the running game, but not so much that it helps us lose the game, right? If it's not working, it's not working. Find another route.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, I think I do think that the sweet spot for Achane number of touches. I mean, what are you over under 23 for Achane for total touches, not just rushing, but total.
Yeah, because total touches isn't just rushes for him, right? Yep. What did he have last week? He had 23 last week, so I think around that is perfect. He had 5 catches last week. I wouldn't mind seeing more. Just no more screens, please.
Yeah. But it's an extension of the run game.
No, it's not. It's an extension of shit.
All right, number 3 on our top 10 things to watch for, our top 10 storylines for this Miami Dolphins Baltimore Ravens game is Ravens defense are getting reloaded with all of their players returning from injuries and some of their rookies coming in and making big impacts while there were injuries. So, which means their depth also now gets a boost. How do you think that getting all of these players back at once, and we're talking some big names, Roquan Smith, Van Noy, Hamilton, Wiggins, to just to name a few. Do you think that is, I don't want to call it a hindrance because these are all phenomenal players outside of Kyle Van Noy. He can go fuck himself.
He's still salty about that.
I will forever be salty about him and Jordan Poyer. But you see what I'm trying to ask? Like, do you think that bringing too many players back at once into the starting unit will be a detriment to their defense, or will it be the boost that their defense needs to not let up 30 points a game, which is what the Ravens defense is letting up?
Yeah, I don't think it's a detriment only because these guys all came back last week. So they are in week 2 of their kind of return from injury.
Okay.
So like that's what I mean by like the reinforcements is that they kind of, while they kept Lamar out an extra week, they brought the rest of them back last week. So
Gotcha. Okay.
and you saw a significant difference, right? They beat down a Bears team that had won 4 straight. They held them to 16 points.
Mhm.
Roquan Smith had 12 tackles on the day, so he just came back slinging it. Actually, the top 5 tacklers are all guys that I have on this list: Roquan, Kyle Hamilton, Nate Wiggins, Teddy Buchanan, and Malachi Starks. The last 2 are both rookies.
Ugh.
The top 5 in tackles last week. So I think that you can look at the numbers all you want for how bad Baltimore's defense has been.
Misleading.
It's an extremely misleading number right now because they literally just got back 5 starters.
Half their defense.
On their defense, yeah. So, I mean, add in the fact that they drafted the kid Mike Green out of Marshall, the defensive end that we didn't really love, but we saw some raw talent there. And if anybody can get talent out of a raw prospect, it's Baltimore.
They also drafted one of my man crushes, and fucking Malachi Starks.
Malachi Starks is a guy we would have been extremely happy with at 13, and unfortunately it didn't happen that way. And I think I actually called it out. I'm not going to pat myself on the back too much, but I was pretty sure I said if we don't take Starks, he's falling to the Ravens, because that's just the way the freaking NFL works.
Yeah, and then the next round they got Mike Green, who was slotted as a top 15 player in the draft.
And then I don't even know what round Teddy Buchanan was taken in, but he is starting at weak side linebacker for them. So that's a nice hit for them right there. So rookies are making an impact. Roquan Smith is back. Kyle Van Noy, as much as you have disdain for him, is still a good situational pass rusher. Kyle Hamilton is a great nickel cornerback, and then Nate Wiggins is on the outside. So their defense is way more loaded than it was just 2 weeks ago.
And Buchanan was drafted in the 4th round, and he's their starting linebacker. So of course he was.
Yeah, that's incredible.
All right, number 2 on our top 10 stories to watch in the Miami Dolphins Baltimore Ravens game this Thursday night on Prime Video. Is that what it is? Visor-Tua, the latest rendition of our beloved or much maligned quarterback is Visor-Tua. Is back and is there for the foreseeable future per all reports coming out of the Miami Dolphins camp. Do you think that there is anything to Visor-Tua? Do you think that something that I talked about on the show last week while you were recovering from your cold was, I think it reduces the defensive players, specifically linebackers, from being able to watch his eyes and hone in on who he's locking in on, for example, because there is a glare. Do you think it gives him some sense of protection or some semblance of whatever the case? I mean, do you think that there's anything to Visor-Tua? And if so, do you think that it makes a difference in this game?
I mean, if anything, if it gives him confidence, that's a bonus, right? I don't think there's any advantage to wearing a visor. I think everybody would if there was, right? Mm-hmm. There was a lot of points made by the booth that, it actually could be a disadvantage because of the glare. Because while the glare is a disadvantage to the defense, it also disadvantage to the quarterback because you can get light bouncing inside the helmet, and then that will give you, light artifacts, and then you won't be able to see. He already had his eye blown up from what I'm assuming is some sort of infection. Hotel pillows, am I right?
I want to poke him in the eye every game. And something, I think it was Abel or Blake last week, said that sound resonation. So inside, because there's visor, he might hear the plays better.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be. Listen, I think if he's playing well with that change, then let him keep playing with that change until it doesn't need to happen anymore. I think there is a lot to be said, and we've talked about this a ton. There's a lot to be said for confidence. Mm-hmm. And if for whatever reason, him wearing this visor gives him some level of confidence that he was lacking before, or some level of comfortability, whatever it is, then I think yes, there is something to the Visor-Tua thing, because then he's buying into himself because he thinks he's safer because he's wearing a visor. Do I think it turns him into Superman a la Clark Kent? No. But
it's the equivalent of taking off the glasses.
Right, yeah. But I think, hey man, any little thing helps. The professional athletes are an extremely fickle bunch. Like, I
Yes.
mean, the smallest thing. Everybody here has seen Major League, I'm sure. And if you're too young, go freaking buy it for $5 on Vudu and go watch it. Um, think about all like the little things they do in that movie. The guy with the voodoo doll and all the other stuff, and like professional athletes are very superstitious, and
Very
any
much.
little thing that happens that will have a positive or negative effect, they are going to let it continue to have an effect. So if this makes Tua continue to play better, then let's visor it up, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, so are us professional fans. Very fickle and superstitious.
I'm
But
not superstitious, but
and
I'm a little stitious.
I do have to correct myself. I want to make sure I shout out the right person. It was the Mad Greed that talked about the acoustics.
Oh man, you're not giving credit
Yes,
where credit's due.
yes, I
How
know. I'm
dare
so
you not
sorry.
remember every comment from your solo show?
I am a fucking monster. All right. So number one, the big one, right, for our top 10 storylines to watch in this Miami Dolphins Baltimore primetime Thursday night game. Ooh, that's a mouthful.
Sure is.
Lamar Jackson returns because of course he does. I'm going to leave it at that. Open the floor to you, sir. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's a freaking beast, bro. I mean, anybody
Yeah.
who tries to downplay Lamar and how good Lamar is and all this other stuff and say that his MVPs weren't deserved is just hater for no reason, or maybe they're
Haterade.
racist. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's one of the greatest quarterbacks of our time, and he's not a
Yep.
traditional quarterback, and that's perfectly fine.
Yes.
Michael Vick wasn't a traditional quarterback either, and Lamar Jackson is a slightly worse runner and
But
a
better
much,
pass.
much better passer.
Mm-hmm.
So listen, I was not a Lamar Jackson fan coming out. So for me to be saying all these things is a huge deal. Like I was very anti Lamar. I did not think he was going to be able to make anything happen in the NFL. And he has proven me wrong at every turn. I think the only negative you could say is that he can't stay healthy for a full season, but virtually any quarterback in today's football can't stay healthy for a full season. I mean, look at the number of quarterbacks out there that have already played this season well into the 40s at this point.
That's insane.
So like,
and a lot of them are multi tens of millions of dollars starters. Yeah.
right. Lamar Jackson single-handedly changes everything about this Baltimore Ravens team, not just the offense, the defense, everything.
Yeah.
Because the way he plays, it's too hard to account for. We were talking about before, you have to account for Lamar or Derrick Henry, but it goes even deeper than that. Do you account for Lamar the runner or Lamar the passer? Because as soon as you account for one of them, the other one destroys you. He's got Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman on the outside, who are not world beaters at wide receiver, but they are good enough to get the job done.
Very much so.
He's got Mark Andrews over the middle, who, again, is getting up there in age, but continues to shred when he's needed. Anytime Mark Andrews is needed, he is right there. And then, of course, Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, their running back room is magnificent. So I think the return of Lamar is the biggest storyline in this game because it is the only thing that matters. If you can't stop Lamar, you can't win this game. So pressure is on our defense to stop him, and pressure is on our offense to go toe-to-toe with him.
Yeah, and I'll be curious, what Weaver's primary focus is. Is it on stopping Derrick Henry, or is it on figuring out Lamar and stopping his running and making him beat us with the pass? I mean, I'll be real curious to watch that early on, because I think obviously as the game goes on, the defensive coordinator in this part for this part of the conversation adjusts accordingly to what is working and what is not. But I'll be curious on maybe like the first scripted 2 drives, right, of our defense, what the perceived most important thing is to Weaver and the defense, which will tell us quite a lot going into the game.
One more point on this, and is that every quarterback is human. Every quarterback we've ever seen play this game has not had the ability to keep it so cool that they couldn't get frustrated. We knew how to frustrate Brady. We had a pretty good record against Brady, right? Rush him up the middle. He can't handle it, right? Yeah. Lamar is human. If you can frustrate him, he starts making more mistakes, right? And I think that hitting him early and often, especially when he tries to run, I think Lamar gets hella frustrated when he's trying to escape the pocket and get a good run, and he gets tripped up or stopped before he made it to where he wants to go. I mean, that is going to be so huge for momentum in this game. You got to get in his head. You got to get under the helmet, get under the visor. Right? and just cause a stir up there. Make them think.
Yeah.
Make them overthink.
And something else that we haven't talked, and this will be the last point because I think we do need to move on. I don't want you to overstay your overwork your voice here, but Kenneth Grant, and this has been reported, but also I take notes every game. I go back and rewatch the film. You know this. Kenneth Grant is very much on the Chop Robinson rookie year scale right now, where Chop, if you remember last year as a rookie, struggled for the first 6, 7, 8 games, and then just shot out of the cannon towards the end of the season. Kenneth Grant looks like he's figuring it out. And if we can get Zach Sealer, who balled out versus Atlanta, and Kenneth Grant to continuously get pressure or maintain kind of the point of contact without giving up, land or yardage, if you will. If we can force Lamar out of the pocket into the rush lanes of our 3 primary rushers, I think it would make a massive difference.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, let's recap top 5, bud. Number 5 on our top 10 storylines to watch for the Dolphins-Ravens Thursday night matchup. Which Dolphins defense is going to show up? We saw arguably the best defense we've seen in a year and a half from Miami this past week. Will the same defense show up, or will we go back to our ways of not knowing how to tackle, not knowing how to cover, and really just not knowing how to play football? Hopefully not. Number 4, can we keep the running game rolling? We saw 37 carries split between 3 running backs against the Atlanta Falcons. Can we see more of that? Or are we going to, again, go back to the screen pass to replace the run, whatever the hell that means? Number 3, the Ravens defense is getting reinforcements. They actually already got the reinforcements. I probably misnamed this point here. They got back Roquan, Kyle Van Noy, Kyle Hamilton, and Nate Wiggins last week. They have 3 rookie starters who are playing pretty well. I think the Ravens defense numbers are an illusion, and their defense is actually better than it looks. Number 2, Visor-Tua is back. Is there anything to be said about the visor that Tua is wearing? Does it give him any extended confidence? And do we think that will have any bearing on how he plays this week? And then, of course, number 1, because it had to be number 1. There's no storyline bigger than this. Lamar Jackson's return to football. He has been out since week 4 against the Kansas City Chiefs. That is going to be a huge implication on this game. He will single-handedly lift his team up. Can our team counteract him efficiently?
I thought our number 1 was going to be Riley Patterson versus Jason Sanders, but yeah, Lamar's fine too, I guess.
Is Jason Sanders returning?
No, I don't know. I'm just fucking with you.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Kickers are people.
Of course,
too.
I don't. I'm a Dolphins podcaster. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
All right, let's get to there's been a lot of comments between you took over. You are ignoring the people. You're not a people person apparently, or
I was not ignoring the people.
Oh, you were ignoring it. We're gonna go. We'll take care of them now. Okay, it's fine.
Shit. Sorry, guys.
The Ravens defense is also giving up 30 points a game. If it's true. Key factors of our offensive line versus that's every week, man. Our offensive line is a question mark every week. Happy Evelyn, when do the happy comments come? Where are the happy comments?
I think Evelyn is dated and also a realist.
Well, maybe she's just keeping it real because if you say we lose and we win, you're happily surprised. Abel disagrees. He thinks we have a chance. Their defense is suspect. Well, we'll see about that. Hopefully they are still. Hopefully their returning reinforcements are just crap too. It could be tough. It's a short week. It's a short week. That's a good point. You said the same comment twice. I didn't realize that. Sorry. Acoustics.
Yep. He said it. He was the one that mentioned it. I called it out earlier. Yep. Agreed.
If he believes the visor is good luck, it's like a rabbit's foot. There you go.
Yeah. Perfect.
I don't think rabbits think their feet are lucky either. Probably not. First Josh Cussin, 45 minutes. It took a while tonight. It really did.
It did. I'm trying to change my habits, but I failed miserably. So, fuck it.
All right. Early on in the show, we asked you all for your X factor for this game, your bold prediction for this game, and your final score. We're about to get into ours, so make sure you throw yours in the chat. The X factor, of course, if you're new to the show and if you're just popping in, is the person who's going to have, or people, or whatever, that's going to have the biggest impact on the game. The bold prediction is something that is extremely difficult to happen, but could actually still happen. And then the final score is, of course, how many points are Miami going to score and how many points are Baltimore going to score? Pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. So we'll start off with you, Josh. Who is your X factor for this game?
Yeah, so mine's a combo. Mike McDaniel and his play calling. I think, the X factor, if for me, really, when I was thinking about this game was, okay, yes, the defense is going to be massive. The how are those players going to contain the three-headed monster that is Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry and Mark Andrews. But for me, and you said it quite a few times, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed how you said it was, can Miami's offense keep up with the Ravens offense, which I think is going to be the deciding factor. And with that comes Mike McDaniel and his play calling. I have been very critical of Mike McDaniel, as have most of us throughout the year. But I have to say the game plan and the way he called the game against Atlanta was, in my opinion, and this is not recency bias, this is a genuine opinion of mine, his best game plan and game call since he's been our head coach. It was pristine across the board. And I just hope we see something at least similar, if not the same kind of thing.
That's a good one, man. That's a good one, because Mike McDaniel has taken a lot of flack for his play calling this year. And we finally had a good one.
And rightfully so.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I don't want to fire.
What about you?
On to X Factor. Sorry, I slipped that one. My X Factor is obviously Tua. The team very clearly plays better when he's not ass. I think that's in the same way that Lamar can lift his team. I think Tua lifts his team just by playing well. He's not the loudest player on the field. He's not the rah-rah guy who's going to get the team up and going. And he leads by example typically. And this year he hasn't been leading by example. In fact, the exact opposite. He's been getting a lesson in how to lead by example and how he's handled the media and his play on the field. So I think, Tua continuing to just be the leader by playing well, not making mistakes, playing with confidence, staying positive on the field. I think all of those little things that he can do without trying are the things that matter the most.
Yeah. Well said.
Let's go to you, Josh, for your bold prediction.
Yeah, so my bold prediction kind of carries over from my X Factor like it does most weeks. I have this one. This one was tough to write because I don't think it'll happen. But Miami's offense continues the momentum from the Atlanta game and has 475 total yards of offense, resulting in 5 total touchdowns.
Wow. Are you insane?
Yes. I'm a Dolphins fan. Of course I am.
I was just looking. Last week we had 338 yards and we scored 34 points. So let's hope you're right. I'm hoping for you.
Something important before you to mention to those fans that are to the chat: your final score and your bold prediction do not have to match. Ours rarely do.
And we're going to get to your predictions in just a sec. We're going to rush through our not rush through, but get through fairly quickly. My bold prediction is kind of similar, actually. I think the running back trio of Achane, Gordon, and Wright, a new law firm down in Miami, they rushed for 250 plus yards and 3 touchdowns in this game. That's how we win. We keep the offense on the field with the running game, and we potentially break records with how well we do.
Hashtag Boca Raton. All right. Yes, I love it.
There we go.
Final scores?
What do you got?
I unfortunately have us losing. Miami 23, Baltimore 27 in a very close game. However, I think Baltimore takes a substantial lead, and then our defense catches up. Then Miami catches up and just a hair away from winning this game.
I hate to continue to be playing the devil in this podcast, which it seems like that is my role that I've taken on, but I don't think it's actually close, sadly. I think we do play better a la against the Falcons, and we do play okay, but I just don't see the firepower in the offense that we need to keep up with the Ravens, and I have us losing 21-35. So we still get 3 touchdowns of our own, but we give up 5.
Yeah, and I do also... I purposely have not said it. However, there is something to be said that we suck on primetime. So,
All right, let's get to your guys' predictions. Finspin says that Brunskill gets a reception. That would be amazing. He is the 6th offensive lineman that we sent in there quite a bit. Jorge says that Tua is going to throw for 3 touchdowns and 325 yards, and that Chop's going to get 3 sacks. And the Dolphins are finit to win it, 33-27. He didn't actually say finit to win it, but I feel like
I love it. I feel like that's something he does say, though.
He probably does, yeah. Let's take a look at Abel. X factor is Weaver. What defense will he implement? Very important there. Was it going to be 2021 Thursday night Dolphins win, blitz happy Flores defense to throw Lamar a curve? Or can the defense just do its job? That's a very long-winded X factor, Abel, but I appreciate you. Finspin says, Tua, hopefully he straightened out that crossroads demon he met outside of Mercedes-Benz Stadium before his national championship game.
Yes.
Maybe he did.
Yes.
Maybe he did. Bold prediction from Abel. Defense has 3+ takeaways.
Ooh.
And we're back on the boat. 24-21. Dolphins get a win. We're 3-6 and bring on the Bills.
FTB. Yes.
If you know, you know. I'm not saying it. All right.
You want me to say it? No.
No.
All right.
Score prediction. Don't care about the numbers. Just the letter. It's a win for the Mad Greek. And that is your predictions for this game. So once again, Josh had Mike McDaniel in his play calling as the X factor. I had Tua. The bold prediction was Josh has us getting 475 yards of total offense with 5 touchdowns, whereas I'm very similar. I have our running game specifically getting 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. Final scores, though, we both see us losing in this one. Josh 27-23 in Baltimore's favor. Myself 35-21 in Baltimore's favor. I hope I am wrong. I hope that to Jorge's point here, the penalty gods stay away from us in this game. Yes. That the defense comes to play. And that we continue to stack some wins here. We'll talk more about what that means for McDaniel and his crew later in the season. I'm on the fence as to where I want this to be, but screw all that because we're 6 subs away from getting a free sub at Taco Bell. So if you can give us 6 more subscriptions, we will actually hit our goal of 75 subscribers by November 11th. A while ago, that looked like we were going to nail it, but the sub count has slowed down significantly. So if you have friends, coworkers, neighbors who you don't give 2 shits about, have them come in and hit the subscribe button.
It's free. That's the best part about it. Takes
if
2
you
seconds.
really want to annoy them, have them hit the bell button too, because we post a lot of videos and they'll just get notification after notification. It'd be fantastic. And let us know how we're doing with the content. We split these shows up. We do 2 live shows a week. As you may have noticed, we split these shows up into several different shorter components. We have segment videos that come out 2 or 3 times a week. And then Josh crushes it with the shorts that we're posting pretty much every day at this point. So let us know what you like and what you don't like about that so we can adjust our content strategy moving forward. I can't believe it's almost halfway through the season, Josh. It's been absolutely nuts. I wish we were better than 2-6, but it's been a fun ride so far.
Same. Yeah, man. It's been a blast. You know, the fans, honestly, I know I say it every week. We do this for you. We appreciate each and every one of you for joining us live and in living color and commenting on all of our videos after we go live. Anthony, it's been a rough first half. Hopefully it's a better second half. Again, I don't think any of these wins should affect the outcome of some decisions that are going to be made with this team's front office.
They will.
I know they will, but they shouldn't. But irregardless, I do hope from a fan standpoint and from a content creator standpoint and just for my sanity that the Dolphins kind of turn things around and start stringing some wins together.
Jorge, if this were true, I'd be shocked. I think he means 70, but 370 would be fantastic.
If we had 370, I'd be doing backflips with
it'd be wonderful. And also, shout out to Sports Night with Jorge. He has his own channel as well. Go give him a shout. Please. Over on his channel. And also Finspin, aka the Mad Greek. He's got a short dropping at 8:30 Eastern. If you are also a podcaster and you want to, give yourself a little shout out in the comments, we are not opposed to that. Please do. We love spreading the word about fellow content creators.
Yeah, and also check out if you want some more great Dolphins content. He does phenomenal content. Frozen Fin Fan.
Frozen Fin Fan also joins us pretty regularly. We are now blowing up his phone on a weekend basis. There we go. Carlos, welcome to the show.
Hey.
We're closing it out. But
yes, we're closing it out. But Carlos, thank you so much. Hey, you know what? Join us.
Jorge contacted me. Okay, so Jorge got you to subscribe. Thank you so much, Jorge and Carlos. We appreciate you guys.
You guys are
welcome to the show.
Amazing.
We're about to close out this episode, but you can catch us every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We talk Miami Dolphins football exclusively, and we have content posted virtually every day. So if you're ever short of Dolphins content, just hit up our channel. You'll find some more. All right, big thanks to everybody who was here. I think I've shouted you all out already, but once again, Abel, Finspin, Jorge, Black Eye wasn't here today, but I'm going to shout him out anyways. Frozen Finn fan. Carlos just joined us. Thank you for popping in, man. Happy Evelyn was here for a hot second again. She loves to pop in and out real quickly, so appreciate that. And of course, to my co-host, Josh, a.k.a. Aqua Ace. Congratulations to him hosting his first ever podcast solo on Monday. Once again, did a fantastic job, buddy. So
Thank you. I appreciate
hopefully we don't have to do it again anytime soon.
Amen, brother.
Good luck to our Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. We're prime time against the Baltimore Ravens. Hopefully we come out of there with a W. We will see you all on Monday unless some sort of breaking news happens before then. But expect to see us Monday live with our reactions to the Dolphins' hopeful victory over the Baltimore Ravens. But until then, have a fantastic evening and a fantastic weekend, everybody. It's a weekend of Dolphins free football. Get some shit done. And until next time, fins up, everyone.